That's the time that you really think of, is it going to be the end of the business? So they're always on my mind. You think that there's hope, you endeavor to make sure that you can ride through.
Policy. Yeah.
My name is Nai Chuen. My surname is Ho. We are in the jewelry retail since 1936. This is a company, Chainstar Jewellery, set up by my father in 1936. And I have been running this company ever since 1982. It's already been here for 88 years. My father worked as an apprentice in Malaysia, Ipoh and Penang before venturing into Singapore with another two partners to set up this Chainstar company. That's my father, together with two partners. So you know how the wall singlets, and it's very simple setting. It's only half a row of the counter at the shop. During those days, people from China, they moved to Singapore, and the main objective is survival. He set up the company when the entire world was in like Second World War. He gave the name of Chainstar. The objective is to say that I hope for peace and prosperity in the business. My father, he passed away in 1965. And then my mother took over the business from 1965. 3 years before she passed away, when I was working as an accountant, we have a nice talk. So the problem is that continuation of the business. In my family, there's only one person like me studying business and accountancy. So naturally, all the siblings will say that maybe you're the best choice to run the business. That's how I came in the picture, and with trust and honesty, I have been running this business since 1985. And this is another picture of the 1980s when my mother was still there, and my eldest brother and also my uncle, some of the relatives. This industry developed after Singapore became an independent nation. As you become more affluent, everything is changing and people tend to ask for more. I found myself in a situation where there's a mismatch of expectation. So I told myself that if I would like to continue the business, I need to do some changes. In 1970s or before that, goldsmith, I think usually they sell gold. I would say that during those days, very simple design. Gold chain is gold chain, there's no variation. Gold ring is gold ring. So it's very simple goldsmithing. But from that point of time, we realized that actually there are many kinds of jewelry that we can offer to the customers. And we have to think out of the box and make sure that what we are selling is what the customer needs. And we cannot restrict ourselves to what we have been doing in the past. And from 1970s onwards, we get in touch with diamond jewelry, gemstone jewelry. So you can see the variety growing. Originally, the company is called Chainstar Goldsmith, and now it's called Chainstar Jewellery. In the 1980s, where there's something called a Chainstar. Chainstar concept is sell by numbers. That means a single design you make into many pieces and you offer in different outlets over the place. So I think there's the change in the landscape that between franchising and also say bespoke kind of jeweler. I ever thought of venturing into franchising and even like opening many outlets. But on the other hand, if you want to make yourself distinctive in the jewelry world, you have to make sure that what you are selling is really very unique, something that other jewelry shops do not offer. You can see it when you come into Chainstar, you look at it, wow, you have something different from other jewelry shops, especially in terms of Jade Jewellery. Jade Jewellery is because I personally like jade. You tend to think of oh, jade jewellery is like Guan Yin or the Buddha and so on. It's like religious based. Actually, it can be much more than that. Jade in the ancient China, you know that jade is very precious. You see some of the very good jade pieces originally from China being exhibited in the museums. So this can cost hundreds of $millions. And as time goes by, we need to educate younger generation to understand jade is something that is very rare, especially natural gemstones. And very importantly, we have to be quite honest to the customers. Honest in the sense that if you sell something, you mean it, and you have to sell what you say. You cannot say that this is genuine and on the other hand, it's man-made or synthetic. So we have to be quite sure of what we are selling. I personally go to different countries to do sourcing. To my understanding, it's better to look at your materials and then you come up with your designs. A good designer will be able to visualize how the design piece is going to be by looking at the color of the stones and the color of, say, for example, jade with different odd sizes and so on. So you can more or less you mind map yourself. The designer will be able to come up with certain things that the stone can fit in. So I think this is very key to designing unique pieces. You talk about passing down a generation of traditional skills. It's very hard for you to pick up the skill as the old craftsmen, most of them already passed on. So the new generation of craftsmen, they learn different skill with technology to assist them. So you have computer-aided design, you also have things like 3D printing. So technology will change the entire world. There are many techniques being improved because of the improvement in the information technology. Now the craftsmen, they play different role. Say like alteration of sizes, setting, and also like repairing, polishing. They break it into processes rather than from process 1 to end. Some of the technique still remain, but to totally based on handcrafting or craftsmanship, that may not work because time consuming and doesn't make a lot of money. So there's a mix and match hybrid design to come together to make it something old tradition but inject with some new elements inside. So that is the things that we are looking for, to modernize the older design to make it more contemporary. The history of Singapore and the history of Hong Kong is like quite related in the sense we see the nation building, we see how the nation being transformed into the modern city. Hong Kong also came a long way from a very basic half a shop house, a half row of counter. Now we have a complete jewelry showroom selling all ranges of jewelry rather than just gold. Hopefully you can see Hong Kong reach 100 years and now it's 88. I think it's not very far off. I hope I'm still healthy to run the business. And I don't know who will be taking over me. Not necessarily that family members will run the company. As long as the value can be passed on, so far so good. So it's 40 over years, I encountered many obstacles, many crises, and throughout all this, I managed to ride through, managed to make sure that the company can be a going concern without any hiccups, especially during the crises like COVID and during SARS, the moment of shutting down for the time being without any customer footfall. I think in jewelry business, trust is very important. Whatever you produce or whatever you offer, you must say and you must do. It's what my father passed down to me. People name us heritage goldsmith, heritage jeweler, but this is not important. What is important is that you have your heritage, you have your history. 88 years, 80 years, 100 years, to me, I think it's only the number. So digit is only to look at, but the content of the business is much more important. To see the world always with peace and prosperity in future. This is my father's vision. That's the legacy I'm chasing.